Good afternoon, everybody. I thought that I would hop on here and do a little planning for the week. I'm a day late, probably $1 short. Life just gets in the way sometimes, and you just got to make do the best you can, right? So I thought that I was going to just be doing a week lay, and then in a later video, I would show you how I lay out a week for business in my plotter, and also make a Bujo spread for my order page in my plotter. So look for those videos at a later time. But for this video, I'm going to focus on laying this week, and also a surprise unboxing. I got my quarterly subscription. Thanks, Mandy, by the way, for packing this up so nicely. I thought we could unbox this together before we do the laying of the week. So I will try to be quick so this video doesn't get too long. This is something that I look forward to with really eager anticipation. It seems like in the deep south of the United States, I'm one of the last ones to get this subscription, and it's always such an ordeal for me emotionally, having to see everybody else do their unboxings before I get to put my hands on these. So I'm so excited it's finally here. Before I even open it up, I can already say I love it because I've seen so many other people unbox theirs. And Helen, you're doing amazing things. Thank you so much for creating these awesome things. But this is mine, and I want to look at it in person. So here we go. We've got some beautiful washies. 1, 2, vertical washi is 3, and a narrow washi is 4. There we go. 4 washies in this subscription. And then I've got 2 acrylic clips. I won't open these now because they make such a noise on camera when I open up these acrylic envelopes. Oh, this is just the envelope that if you are lucky enough to live local or just in Canada, your stuff gets mailed in this, and how cool would that be to get that in the mail? But I live in the States, so she just includes this envelope, so I have it. And, you know, you can cut these out and use these in various spreads, so that's awesome. And thank you, Helen, for doing that. We appreciate that. Oh, sorry, guys, I'm going to do this one. This is the actual meat and potatoes of the subscription. This is what I've been waiting on. Ooh, this one's stuffed. Trying very hard to not tear the baggie because I like to store things in these baggies, so I want to reuse this as much as possible. All right, so first up, we've got some cute vinyls that go along with the theme of this quarter. This is a washi sample card. You wrap washies around this. It sticks to itself. It's plastic, so the washi doesn't actually stick to this. It's got a hole punched in the top, so you can store these on a key ring maybe. Keep all your washi samples together. We've got some symbol buttons. We've got the Q3 large science doodles. This whole month's theme just really tickles my inner nerd. I'm here for all of this. We've got the confused emojis. I feel like I'll get a lot of road miles out of those. Paper writing process emojis. May not use these too much. I'm out of school for a very long time now. But these I will get good use out of, even though it's called school notes, because I take notes on everything every day. That's the only way my brain functions. And this is the description of what you could find in that particular quarter's subscription. Like I said, this is Q3 of 2025. The theme of this subscription, I don't think I mentioned, is discovery. So you're going to find everything in here is learning related. How cool is this? This is all original artwork. I wanted to do that unboxing just on the off chance that I wanted to use some of these in this week's layout. So we have it in case we need it. And I'm going to set that aside for now. Sorry about the ASMR with that. And show you what I was thinking of for this week. I was going to use this washi It's a very creative washi with lots of art supplies on it. And then I have a selection of stickers that I could do some deco with that I got in the mail from Kubo and Lucy this past week. These were not from Kubo and Lucy. I can't remember where I got these from, but they all fit in this same sort of working at home theme, creative theme. Some button stickers. So maybe some of this week's subscription will go along with this theme. We'll just see where the day takes us. All right, so I think I've said this in the past. I try to typically do a layout by focusing on one thing and building around that one thing. That's a lot easier for me as a novice journaler than trying to incorporate a whole bunch of different elements into one cohesive plan, because I find that the way my brain works, it's never cohesive looking. It always looks like a mishmash. So I try to focus on just one thing and build around that. So in this case, I'm focusing on this very cute washi that features a bunch of different art supplies like paintbrushes, easels, palettes, watercolors, you name it, it's in here. If you can get creative or crafty with it, it's going to be on this. So I'm going to build my theme around this. I've got an assortment of highlighters, stickers, the Coffee Monsters Co. tiny icons and emoji stickers, the monthly layout for the Hobonichi Cousin from the Coffee Monsters Co., an assortment of gel pens that I just got in the mail the other day too, and then all this random stuff. So I may go quiet for a little bit while I figure this out, and if I think of anything interesting to say, I'll hop back in and we'll talk. Some of this may look familiar. I tend to keep at least the weekly layouts somewhat the same so that it's consistent from week to week when I do a flip through. I feel like those are going to be some pretty colors that will match along with the colors in this washi. I wonder, craftiness and science can often go hand in hand. Can I get away with using this washi? Dare I do it? I do dare. All right, we're going to use this washi at the top of the page. So this will go at the top under the dates. This will go at the bottom. I'm going to make a key on the side. And then I typically go through and lay down the things that are static every week. And then I will go through and sprinkle in the things that I know are going to be on the schedule this week in ink, if it's for sure appointment, and then in pencil for appointments that may or may not change, like my work appointments. I work at a hair salon, so sometimes those change at the last minute, which is very aggravating. Public service announcement, please stop changing your hair appointments at the last minute. Our livelihoods depend on a stable schedule. There, off my soapbox, and back to daily business. Sorry, you can hear my dog in the background. Aggie has no respect whatsoever for the fact that I'm trying to record a video. Not even a little bit. Sometimes stickers and washi and such are tricky for me because I like to keep my nails short because I do a really good shampoo, and that involves not scratching my clients. This is harder than you would imagine to do, to line up, because I use a neck-mounted phone holder thingamabob, and working around this, because it's right in front of my face, is very tricky. I'm going to do the best I can and try to keep everything still in frame. Forgive me in advance if I go out of frame at any point during this process. I use the grid lines up here to line my ruler up to make sure that I get a 90-degree tear on that. Sometimes I do a hand-torn look with washi. Sometimes I like a straight edge. It all depends on which way the wind is blowing that week, to be honest. Typically, I work from top to bottom and from left to right, but because I'm filming, that doesn't feel natural for some reason. So I'm just going to do the best I can. And the reason why I typically work from top to bottom and left to right is to avoid smearing inks. I use a lot of fountain pens and gel pens in my planners, and those need a little bit of dry time before you can touch them, or the ink may smear or smudge. So I like to try to minimize that as much as possible. You can also use some blotter paper to cover an area you've just written on if you worry about that. All right. You may wonder how I'm coming up with the order of this. I use 5 colors a week to track 5 different things. I track my salon events, life events, anything that has to do with my family. F&P events is flourish and plan. That's the stationary side of my work life that I'm trying to get off the ground. School events that are specific to the school and not just a life event. And then pay attention. And normally what I'll do is I will color code events as they happen on my calendar using these things. And if something is really important, I will outline whatever event in that color so that it really stands out to my eye. And the way I choose my colors, I try to have the palette go with the washi, and I try to put them in the order so that no 2 similar colors show up next to each other, because I want them to stand out. I want them to look unique and individual and not blend together, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's just the way my weird brain works. Oh, before I start that, I'm going to lay down this week. I don't know about you, but I love the sound of markers and pens and pencils in these videos. I find it to be a very soothing sound. That wasn't done so well. Oh well. Wabi sabi. Let's go ahead and use one of the new Muji pens that I got. I'll just stick with black for this sidebar. All right, this will be salon events, life events. Pause for just 1 second, please. I apologize for that sound in the background. That was my dog cleaning herself. She has no respect for the artistic process. I also apologize for my handwriting. I'm not used to writing at this angle. So it looks more serial killerish than normal. For those of you who struggle with penmanship like I do, I've really been trying hard to improve that. I got a hand lettering book that I can practice in. It's just tricky to get that kind of angle when I'm filming because the setup is right in front of my face. All right, so now I've got basic layout. Let's go in and put some things that I know are going to be static every day. I know I'm going to drop my daughter off at school every day. So I'm going to start using these little backpack tiny icons. I find that with my big sausage fingers and lack of fingernails, it's easiest to get these stickers off by bending it back a little bit till a corner pops up, and then I can just grab. Oh, I don't need that because that's Saturday and there's no school on Saturday. It's easier to grab when you get a corner to pop up. All right, set that aside. Then after I drop her off, I like to go to the gym, and that is on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays only. So this little dumbbell tiny icon is perfect for that. These are things that I know are static every week, so I know them on the top of my head, off the top of my head. But I also was smarter this week and wrote down my schedule, so I wasn't going to try to remember it like I did last week. All right. This is my plotter that I use for work, and I just happened to write it down in there. All right. Oh, one more static thing. I know I will pick up Charlotte at the school bus on Mondays and Tuesdays around 2:30. So that's that. Let's use a fountain pen for this. And I will use that'll do. This is a Pilot Vanishing Point special nib, which means that it is a steel nib instead of a gold nib. So these are significantly less expensive on Amazon. I want to say this ran me about $70, which is still a ridiculous amount to pay for a fountain pen. I know they go much higher than that, but in my world, I shop on sales and at deep discounts, so I saved a long time for that one. And this has the Pilot Iroshizuku blue-black ink, which I believe is called Shinkai. I've been very into blue-black inks, and I've also been very into shimmer inks lately. And I've been using pens with bolder nibs and shimmer inks to delineate headings and markers and stuff like that in my journal entries. Right. Then for other appointments during the week, see here. If I can get a sticker off. Saturday, I take my Mounjaro shot. I'm diabetic. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that in a video before, so I take that first thing in the morning, every so often. And we've got payday. And then I think the rest is not static appointments. It's going to be things that I can fill in. So let's start on Monday and work our way across the week. One of the first things that I did today, well, yesterday, I should say, I planned out what I was going to do this week. In this big chunk of time. I knew I was going to be filming this video, so I actually waited to write any of this plan down until I could get to the house and have a moment of quiet and peace in order to film this. But I do have in my head what that plan's going to be. Then I had therapy. And that can go in ink because not only is it already in the past, so it happened, but I never miss that. Unless, tragedy has struck. So that can always go in ink. All right. That was basically it for the morning. Once Charlotte gets home, unless I'm at work, it's sort of planner-free season because you never know what's going to happen with a 5-year-old. So you just kind of play it by ear. All right. Then today, after I dropped her off at school, I went to the gym. I knocked out a couple of to-do list items that had been lingering around for a little while. Because I needed to free up some time on my schedule for later on in the week. I had a big shift in my work schedule Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And so I unexpectedly have those days off from work. And I've got a lot of projects that I've been putting off, even putting on my task list because I need a big chunk of time. So I want to focus on those large projects on those days. So today I knocked off a huge number of just old, lingering, piddly tasks that didn't seem to ever get done and kept getting shuffled from day to day. So I knocked those out. Also today, I got my subscription delivery. Happy Meal is always a good day. And that seems to warrant using my very first small but not tiny emoji heads. Which one of these do you think denotes somebody who is just ecstatic that he finally got his subscription? I'm torn between hard eyes and screaming with glee. Well, not really torn. I'm going with that one because I'm not ashamed to admit, when I saw what the package was in my post office box, I let out a little whoop whoop. So, yay, first chance I got to use those. Thanks for making those, Helen. That's the perfect size. I love all your emoji heads, of course, but the small but not tiny are awfully mighty. Hey, I just made a little rhyme for us. All right, and then I did a little bit of recording right now. We're recording right now, in case you didn't know. It's about 1:30. Record weekly layout. And yes, I do have to leave very soon in order to get my child from the school bus. So we're going to be wrapping this up real quick. Later on today, if I get some time, I'm going to try to do some very rudimentary editing to this video and post it. It's awfully ambitious of me, especially so close together. But if I have to change it, I'll change it. Edit weekly layout video and post. Oh heck, why not another small but not tiny? Which one looks proud? Because I assume I'm going to feel proud after I figure out how to edit something. Or maybe the process is going to drive me a little bit crazy, so we'll probably end up doing that. Yeah, that seems more likely. All right, this video is long enough. I'm going to go ahead and call it, and I'll post a picture of the finished product later on today. You guys have a great day. Talk to you soon. Oh, by the way, if you liked this video, please like, follow, subscribe, comment, share, whatever you'd like to do to help me get in the algorithm. And take care of yourself and take care of each other. Bye-bye.